For this episode of the World Triathlon podcast, we go live and direct to Valencia, Spain, to speak with Germany's Lisa Tertsch. Lisa won Junior World Championship silver in 2016 before switching her focus to Harvard University, returning as an elite triathlete with World Cup gold in Antwerp last year. This year the form has continued, even if the races haven't, and it was bronze this weekend at the Valencia World Cup. So, Lisa Tertsch, hello and welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Good to have you on. How are you feeling after yesterday's race?
I'm very happy. I had my second podium of the year and my first World Cup podium this year, and I'm happy to end my season with such a good race. That gives lots of motivation for training in the winter and going into next year.
The sprint finish, there didn't look like there was any intention of you letting up your place on the podium against Baptista of Brazil there.
Nope. I wanted that medal. I was like, this time I'm not going to lose the podium and I'm just going to give it all. And I felt like when we went around the last corner, I felt like I still had something left in me. And so I went for it. And
yeah.
It worked out.
With that finish in mind, was there a sense of maybe there'd been a little frustration of 2020 building up in you there and you were just desperate to hit that podium in the last stretch?
To be honest, I'm not really frustrated with my season this year. I feel like although it was an unusual season, I still got in some really good races and a lot of winning experiences. So of course there was some disappointment that the Olympics didn't take place, but I'm still happy with how the year went.
How was the Hamburg WTS, obviously, at the start of September? Was a slightly unusual situation.
Yes, slightly unusual.
But you were very pleased with your performance, presumably.
Yes. Well, I wasn't that happy with my swim, but I was really happy with my run. It was actually just, I would say, my second race at like the highest level. Before I just had Tokyo, and then I did a couple European Cups last year, but that wasn't like the usual, like the World Triathlon Series level, and so I just wanted to see where I'm at and how I could hold up to the other people, and I was really pleased with my running time. I didn't expect that to go that well.
There's been a few courses to test the running in the handful of races that you have been able to do this year.
Yes.
Carlo Vivari, I mean, at the end of a very testing course anyway, the run you put together there and indeed in Argentina were incredible.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but I'm just really happy that I could consistently show good runs, and that it wasn't like an exception in Hamburg or in Carlo Vivari, but that I managed to consistently do a good job on the run.
And Valencia yesterday, there was you, Nicolas Spirig, Baptista. Presumably Nicolas Spirig is one of those athletes you just have to admire and respect and battle in those situations.
Yes, particularly on the bike, she was super strong. I was really impressed how she just went for it and didn't look back and just was so strong at the front. And then still managed to do so well on the run. Blown away a bit. It was my first time racing against her, so I haven't had that experience yet.
Ah, right. I don't know.
I mean, you always hear people talking how it is racing, but it's not like until you do it yourself, you don't really know how it is. Like, you always have to like look where you're at and not compare yourself to other people too much. Mm-hmm. And so I've like tried to go my own way and see what's right for me. I don't know. Like, you get too nervous if you like get starstruck and you're like, oh my God, there's an Olympic champion running next to me. I can't do this. This is so hard. So I always just try to tone it down and be like, we're all just people.
Yeah.
And we all train hard and we all try hard. And some days we have good days and some days we have bad days. And
But presumably heading into Valencia after those good races, you felt like you had a podium in you. So for example, after Argentina, that was just under a month ago. Where were you after there and in the build up to Spain?
Actually, after the World Cup in Antwerp, I had a lot of schoolwork to do. Right. So I focused a bit more on that during that time. And I'm fine with that. Of course, like it's hard to like be on the highest level both in school and in sport, and so it's sometimes I just have to accept that you can't like do everything perfectly and just see how you like it was quite challenging at this like after Italy to combine school and sports, I have to say. So I wouldn't say I was like in the best shape ever, but I was in decent shape.
Right. So yeah, let's just talk about that for a bit then. Obviously, after Cozumel 2016 as a junior, that was presumably, I mean, you raced in Chicago the year before in the World Champs, but Cozumel 2016 must have been huge for you as a young triathlete.
Yes, that was great. I was hoping to do well because I already won. I was second at European Championships that year, but I always feel like it's different when you add in like the rest of the world, and you never know what's going to come out. And also, I had just that summer started studying at Harvard, so I wasn't really sure how that would like it changed. A lot of things changed, and I wasn't sure how that would affect my performance. And so I was happy that it still worked out so well.
So that race was what, mid-September. So you had actually that was right at the start of your studies at Harvard, was it?
Yes, right. I went in August.
Right. So presumably this was, a long-term plan that Cozumel would be the sort of end point, would it? And then you were concentrating on your studies.
I wouldn't say it was a long-term plan to like take a little break from triathlon. It just happened to work out that way because I joined the varsity team there, and then it was just harder to do triathlon in school on my own in the US. And so running just seemed like a better option at that point for me.
Right. So what are you studying at Harvard?
I'm studying, so my major is economics, and my secondary is human biology.
Right.
So, yeah, it helps a little bit with training.
Yeah. They're also coming from quite different sides of the sort of intellectual spectrum there, biology and economics.
Yes.
Is there a middle ground anywhere in there?
Yeah, because I feel like economics is mostly about how you make decisions, and our decisions are like guided by our evolutionary background, I would say, because some sort we're still animals, and then when you know how the biology of the human works, you know how, I don't know, that's my approach to it. Then you can figure out how humans make decisions.
Yeah. So where, like pre-Harvard, where were you studying?
I'm from
in the US or no?
No. I was living at home in near Frankfurt in Germany.
Yeah.
And I was going to a normal school and doing a normal degree in normal time and all normal. No.
And then the opportunity to study in Harvard came up, or was it something that you'd always?
I did track races in high school, and I always wanted to go to the US. I always wanted to like spend some time abroad, but it never like quite lined up. And so I looked to sports scholarships in the US and just talked to people, and I had quite good grades, and together with the sport I somehow managed to get in there.
And is it everything that you hear about? Is it an incredible place to be able to go and study and live?
Yes. I wouldn't say it's like what people talk about, but it's an amazing place with amazing people. There's so many like different and interesting people with so many new thoughts, and it's just great to have the opportunity to meet all of them and like actually being close to them. And like you just we have like a residential system, or we had a residential system before the pandemic, where we all just lived together in houses, and you just saw your classmates all the time, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you just like had such close contact with them, and that was really yeah. But also just It's a little, nah, I don't know. It is a pressure cooker too.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I mean,
everybody has such high goals, and like on the one hand that pushes you, but on the other hand it also like makes you question a lot of things sometimes.
right.
Um, but I would say it helped me to really grow as a person and as an athlete, and yeah, and also helped me like figure out more about what I want to do and how I want to live my life and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if I would have gotten that at
Right.
home. So sometimes I feel like you have to like challenge yourself a lot in order to grow, even if it's uncomfortable.
You only
Yeah.
have to look at the alumni from that university to think, do you end up sort of looking around and thinking, right,
Yeah,
who's going to be the next sort of
yeah, yeah. I was a
Silicon
bit
Valley
naive going
billionaire?
in. I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna try and see how this works out, and just looked at it as an adventure. And I'm really happy I approached it like that and not like like overthought it too much when I went there. Um, so I think once you're there, like everybody's a Harvard student, so
Hmm.
it's not really that impressive anymore.
Yeah. Have you been, I mean, do they have incredible guest speakers come in all the time and so on as well? Then, beyond the course, are there people that have come in and that you've just been absolutely blown away by?
Yes, and I admit that made it a little bit hard with sports too, because you see, like, you get to know so many other things that you can do, and like so many opportunities open up, and you're still like, no, I will go for my run now and train, and not, I can't do everything, and I have to focus on what I want and what I can do, and um, I don't know.
Yeah. It's been a difficult
It's
balance.
hard. It's like um, I feel like people often, I don't know. I rarely talk about this. Um, it's just cool, but it's also a lot of like so many things are at the same time. Like you just cannot do everything.
Yeah.
And at home, I there weren't so many opportunities, so I wasn't like used to having like so many different events and having to decide what I want to do.
Mm.
um, yeah.
Yeah. The sort of added responsibility of kind of having to make the decisions between, it's not like, right, I'm doing this now, I'm doing this now. It's like, I could do this or this or this now.
Yes, yes, and it's all cool and it's all exciting and you want to do all of it. But on the other hand, you have to take care of yourself and not overdo it, because if you use up all your energy, it's also not nice anymore.
So are you studying remote? Is everybody studying remotely at the moment there, or?
Um, at Harvard,
Yeah.
it's remotely for everybody except for the freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think all, yeah, second, third, and fourth year are off campus.
Right.
Um, and I'm at home.
Yeah.
I'm studying at home. Yeah.
So you're
Which
in
I never
Frankfurt.
expected to do. I went abroad and now I'm back at home.
Yeah. So
Studying abroad.
actually, if the pandemic hadn't struck, would you not have raced Arzicena and Valencia because you'd have been studying?
Probably yes. But if the pandemic wouldn't have been, like, everything would have been a lot different, right? Like my original plan, I took last year off to qualify for the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had had like a full summer of racing, I think by that time I would have been happy to go back and have like a calm fall of studying.
Mm.
So it was all a little bit different than planned. But I'm still happy with everything. So not with everything, but overall with how I'm managing the situation, I would say.
Okay.
Trying to make the best of it.
And as far as Olympic qualification for next year, then what's the?
What's the plan?
Yeah.
Germany is doing like a sort of time trial triathlon qualification for the mixed team relay, and that's supposed to take place in May, and so I will prepare for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and obviously I want to race World Triathlon Series and World Cups and just gain more experience. I would say for me it's still about learning, and of course I want to do well, but I feel like I've been away for quite some time and I've just been back for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And
1.5, really, I suppose.
yeah, depends on how you want to count this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you're going to sort of try and do the full study, sport, juggle next year then for the qualification period.
Yes. I admit it's not like the probably not the best preparation for the Olympics, but I decided that I want to just finish my degree and do it, and I want to do it at some point, and I think like now is the best time to do it, and not when all the races are going on again, and I'm sitting there being like, I want to race here, and I have to study.
Yeah. Well, and maybe to get a first Olympic experience in when you haven't got a huge amount of expectation on yourself. So Tokyo, maybe the build-up won't have been ideal, but if you get there, great, experience it, and then Paris 24, you can go in there with a slightly more clear picture of how you want to attack the race or take on an Olympic race, right?
Yes, for sure. I want to try and do my best that I can get to Tokyo, but also I just really love the sport, and I love the training, and I love going to all the races here. So I would be super happy if I make it, but even if I don't make it, like I will continue and just see what comes next.
Yeah. And so Antwerp last year, when you had, made your first kind of comeback and were building towards that summer of preparation for this year, that first season back. So I spoke to you after your gold, and straight after the race, you were obviously like ecstatic and maybe a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah.
It was totally unexpected. That medal. I think that was my third race back, and I was my first World Cup, and I was like somewhere between, I think it was like second to last on the lineup. And I was a little bit afraid of the cobblestones, but for some reason, like once I'm racing, I'm not worried anymore, and just think about the moment and just want to do my best. And in that case, it helped me. And
yeah, because I mean,
I ran together with Laura for a long time. That's another German athlete, and I know her, and it was fun to race her.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess going into the race, actually, she was certainly among the favourites. I think she was coming back from some time out as well. But yeah, you just absolutely crushed that run.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Sometimes it works out really well. I hope it will keep happening again at the right times.
So there is a bit of that, is there is with triathlon racing, that you might find yourself, a kilometre into the run, and you're just like, actually, this is going great, and I still feel good, and I'm in with a touch, and then those gaps keep tightening, and you're not necessarily doing anything massively different, but things are just, that feeling of the potential of a very good performance just sort of starts to seep in, does it?
Yes. And then when you feel strong, and then you're pulling away a little bit more, and you're like, oh, this might work out well today. That's a great feeling. And I feel like that also always gives you like a little bit of extra energy, even like, so you're already good, and then you get even more out of it. You learn more from your bad races, or not from your bad races, but the races that didn't go like perfectly well. I feel like oftentimes like you only want to look at the wins, but I feel like I've learned like the most from races that didn't go well. And when races go well, you're just happy and excited. But yeah.
And I mean, well, yeah, speaking of Laura, there's also Nina Eim, right? Lena Meissner and Anja, and the strength of German triathlon at the moment is, if you throw in Jonas Schomburg and Justus Nieschlag to name, there's just two of the men who are doing really well. There's a huge amount of potential there and competition for places for the Olympics and mixed relay and so on.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what we can do in the mixed team relay. I think we already have secured a spot, and I think we can put together a great team for the Olympics. And I want to be part of it.
Yeah, you raced it in Hamburg, right?
Yes, yes, yes. But it was also just my second mixed team relay race ever. So I admit I was a little bit nervous going in because I was on first position, and I wasn't sure how fast people would go.
Yeah.
Like how high that pace would be. Like Olympic and sprint distance I've done, but that one was a new level of
Yeah.
pain.
I mean, is it something that you will train specifically for, and presumably, like you say, just having experienced that race and knowing how hard you need to hit the gas from the go? It's all a learning process, right?
Yes, for sure. I would say it's always a learning process. Um, I will train specifically for it, but I also think it doesn't. There's no contradiction between training for the mixed team relay and the sprint distance or like Olympic distance races.
Mm.
You just the mixed team relay is so fun because there's so many different things can happen. Like triathlon in itself is already such an experience and such an adventure. But if you put together 4 people in a row
Yeah.
together with different teams, like that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
And I mean, what an amazing event to be able to have for the first time on Super Saturday of an Olympic Games, right? Making its debut. Certainly here it will be in the evening on the Saturday night, and I just think it's going to really kind of capture the imagination of Olympic fans all over the world, really. So it's a brilliant shop window for triathlon.
Also because it's so short distances and there's so much action in there.
Mm.
So people, I hope, will enjoy watching.
So, I mean, outside of triathlon, has 2020 kind of given you lots more time than you expected to study? Have you been able to be fairly sort of strict with your time and so on to keep on top of your studies as well as everything else?
Yes, yeah, I admit I've been pretty busy with fitting everything together, and I'm quite happy about that. I haven't had too much time to think about everything that's going on around us, and I've just focused on getting my studies done and getting my sport done, and spending some time with family, and that's about it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's quite challenging sometimes. I think sport and studying helps you to when you do sports you turn off from studying, and when you study you turn off from sports, so that's a nice balance there. Yeah.
And then will this actually be your last year of studying?
Yes, I'm in my 4th year, and an undergrad takes 4 years in the US, so
Mm-hmm.
I will be done in May, hopefully.
Obviously, it's been quite a historic weekend in the States as well this weekend. Do you feel happy that you've been a safe distance from it, or would you quite wish you'd been there to be really experiencing it all firsthand?
I'm quite happy in Germany. I don't want to talk about the elections.
Okay.
I feel like I'm not qualified enough to have an opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. But I can imagine
I
how.
admit I liked the end, but the process was painful.
The process was definitely painful. And Harvard must be a pretty political place, is it? Or is it the sort of place where actually it's sort of left to one side and people don't really tend to talk about that too much?
People talk about it for sure.
Yeah.
People have an opinion.
Right.
But the thing is, I feel like people have a reasonable opinion. They have an argument and they want to make you understand their opinion, and they're not just blankly putting statements on you.
Right. It's not just A or B or black or white.
Yes.
There's room
to it, and room for explanation, and
that sounds
actually
so refreshing.
talking.
Yeah. All right. Well, so, if you couldn't be there and you weren't at home, then being on the podium in Valencia, pretty nice way to spend the weekend.
Yes. Also, I don't know if yeah, it was nice. I'm just happy that people are putting on races, and that I get the chance to race and still have a little bit of the triathlon lifestyle, even though other things are going on in the world. I really appreciate
Yeah, the protocols are obvious for anyone to see, but they're not too onerous. For you as athletes, you're still able to concentrate fully on what you need to do, right?
Yes. I think they want to have a lot of less spectators, but I'd rather have a race with not so many spectators than no race at all. So I'm just happy that it still works out.
Yeah, of course. And in the build up to Valencia, I mean, the weather looked absolutely appalling. What was happening there?
I have no idea. But I've been here last year already for European Under-23 Championships, and the weather was awful too.
Oh yeah.
So I was just like, this is Valencia. Valencia has bad weather. I'm fine. It will be fine in the end. It was fine in the end.
Yeah.
So for me, it was calm. I was used to that from last time.
I mean, there were videos of like car parks absolutely flooded, and
yeah.
I mean, presumably that must have put a real dampener on your training as well, and kind of preparations for the race, did it?
On the one hand, yes, but on the other hand, like before the race, I usually don't, like I try to rest more, and
right.
Would say like you can arrange with it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it wasn't impacting my training much.
Right. And as far as actual race conditions, it was quite slick, but it was obviously like the sun was coming out, right? And and the course wasn't ever going to be too much of an issue, was it?
I would say it was an issue. Like it was always, the sun sometimes peaked out, but there was always a little bit of rain, so it was still wet. Like even right before the start, like it started to rain again when we were waiting for the lineup.
Right.
But then we were racing, then it got nice again. But the course was wet. It was quite challenging sometimes.
Are you leaving Valencia today?
No, I'm actually leaving tomorrow.
Right.
I wanted to take a flight today, but they didn't take bags anymore because everybody's obviously leaving today. So I was too late.
Rush.
I was like, well, I will have one holiday then.
Yeah. Our thanks to Lisa Tertsch for coming on the World Triathlon podcast. Don't forget, you can watch all the racing back from this year, including the men's and women's action in Valencia, on demand on triathlonlive.tv. Thanks for listening.